Hi, this is Harold Pollack. It's October 17th. Just had a few comments about the second debate. I think that the usual suspects have covered this thing already quite well, but I just wanted to add a few things. And I'm going to title my video, "It's not what you say about your issues, it's what your issues say about you." That's a great comment by my friend Mark Schmidt, and I think this encapsulates the problems that Mitt Romney ran into as he lost that debate, as I think as decisively as the president lost the first one. By the way, I certainly think that it's a lot more fun to watch a debate that your guy is winning than to watch a debate that your guy is losing. And I was only sorry when 11 o'clock hit. Now, Romney did some things wrong in the debate, but the main reason that he lost that were really two issues. One is he got pinned down on aspects of his campaign platform that just don't add up, and also he was revealed in some ways that really showed off the unworthiness of at least some of the campaign tropes that he's used to get through the GOP primaries and to try to then lurch to the center to catch up with President Obama. Now let me give 4 examples: Libya, taxes, immigration, and gas prices. Now on Libya, I have to admit I haven't followed Libya closely, and it's quite possible that the administration did some things wrong in that. But you know, when you watched Romney being humiliated by the fact check by Candy Crowley right on the spot there was a larger context to that too. That Romney was parroting a campaign trope among Republicans that somehow the president sympathizes with anti-American mobs, that he does not recognize terrorism, that he projects weakness and thus provokes acts against the United States, and so on. And to see Governor Romney jump out with that while President Obama is comforting the families at the funerals was just such a transparent and shallow act of political opportunism that it speaks for itself. And I'm surprised that Governor Romney continues on this, because it's unworthy on the substance and it's transparent in its execution. Now let's go to taxes. Now Romney has a tax plan whose numbers don't add up. The Tax Policy Center, which is a nonpartisan, very respected group of people, has tried to run the numbers, and they can't make them remotely work. And the Joint Committee on Taxation has done the same. And now part of the problem is that it's not really a plan; it's really vaporware that one is selling. But it's clear that doesn't work, and the Romney campaign claims to have 6 studies that back it up, and as Matt O'Brien and Josh Barrow have covered very well. When you actually look at what these 6 studies are, it turns out that several of them aren't studies at all. They're Wall Street Journal op-eds, they're blog posts from conservative think tanks. There's one paper by Princeton economist Harvey Rosen that I've read, which while nowhere near the level of care and detail of the Tax Policy Center, shows that if you really, really wax the tax code in a way that Ryan and Romney are deathly afraid to specify before the election, and if you get some supply-side economic growth effects to come in and save the day, the numbers might possibly work, particularly if you go lower down in the income distribution and capping deductions and exclusions than the Romney campaign wants to do. So that's really another way of saying the numbers really don't work in a plausible way. And as I've written about in another column, this whole idea of broaden the base, lower the rates, really doesn't work. And the most likely outcome of a plan like this would be to balloon the deficit and to reduce taxes on the most affluent, who really don't use the deductions and exclusions at a high percentage of their income anyway. Now, in response to sort of Candy Crowley saying, what happens if the numbers don't add up, Romney said the following. I'm going to read this in my effort to be even more low-tech. It says, "Well, of course they add up. I was someone who ran businesses for 25 years and balanced the budget. I ran the Olympics and balanced the budget. I ran the state of Massachusetts as a governor to the extent any governor does, and balanced the budget all 4 years. I know what it takes to balance budgets. I've done it for my entire life. And I think I'll leave the Olympics and the Massachusetts stuff to other people. I think it's fair to say that Governor Romney was a fiscal conservative who did balance the budget in Massachusetts as far as I know. I think the Olympics thing, he did a good job managing it. Of course, he had $1.5 billion in subsidies from the federal government as sort of an odd example of fiscal rectitude to identify. But let's pick up what he says about business. Now, to me, what everyone admires about Governor Romney's business career, and I think there's something to admire there, what he's doing in this campaign is a model of a business that, whatever it says to its investors, however much it may balance its books on the investment side, is trying to profit by selling a shoddy product and doing it through false advertising. This tax plan, like his health plan, like the provisions for pre-existing conditions and other aspects of his campaign platform, there's just nothing there. There's no evidence that they've carefully analyzed what's there. They're offering a shoddy product in a very unprofessional way and just trying to create a fog of confusion that allows them to continually bob and weave around embarrassing details, or just to convince the public that this is a moderate guy who's going to figure it out when there's really nothing here, that gives us confidence in that. And I think that he was called on it, and he should continue to be called on it. And this lack of professionalism and substance deserves criticism. Now let me talk about immigration. Now, this was an interesting issue. During the Republican primaries, Governor Romney used this really as his conservative calling card. He used it quite effectively to bash Governor Rick Perry for some modestly humane education policies. He ran to the right of Newt Gingrich on immigration. He embraced the Arizona law and the men and women who framed it and passed it and are trying to implement it. He's been an immigration conservative in a very emphatic way, and really used that to differentiate himself. Then he got out of the primaries, and of course he hit the demographic buzzsaw of what's happening in the general electorate, and he's trying to tack back. And you just can't do that. And I hope that Republican political professionals look at this and they realize, hey, if we didn't have to run through the primary freak show, if we could genuinely be more moderate, it would be a lot easier to sell our product, because we have alienated a huge chunk of the American public, and especially Latino voters. There's just no way to etch a sketch out of the primary conversation about self-deportation and other matters that took place just this year. Now, one final point about gas prices. So Governor Romney was hammering President Obama on gas prices. Now, gas prices are sort of like the issue of China. You have to ignore all the campaign rhetoric where those words come up. First of all, what's going to be said is probably nonsense, and secondly, it probably has little to do with what a challenger would do if he came into office. We have a world market for petroleum. Gas prices are determined by that. Demand is increasing in India and China and elsewhere. United States production is a small fraction of that world market. So there's just nothing that a president's going to do that's going to influence the equilibrium price of gasoline on the world market. And prices are up because market conditions have made them go up. And proposals such as gas tax holidays and so on are just are pathetic. And the idea that we're going to bring down gas prices by increasing petroleum production in the United States is just not going to happen. Now, I do think that the problem here is not so much Governor Romney. In fact, his chief advisor on economics, Greg Mankiw, has rightly proposed a gasoline tax, both as a way to raise revenue and as a way to protect the environment. Here, I think the real problem is the American public and our stupidity when it comes to issues of energy and issues of global climate and the environment. So Romney deserves a demerit for peddling nonsense, but the American public deserves a bigger demerit for creating a market in which that kind of nonsense is likely to sell. So with that dyspeptic conclusion, I will stop and go on with my day.